Hi, I'm Jayme Lewis and welcome back to thebassist.net. Today I'm going to continue forward in this little series I've been doing called 5 Minutes to Better Bass, where I'm just going to drop you little tiny bits of advice that I've learned over the years that's going to help you not only get the gig, but also keep the gig. Best of all, it's going to be very easy and it's only going to take 5 minutes. So stick around. I guarantee you're going to want to see this. Okay, now before we get going, I just want to take a moment and say a very special thank you to Enkey for making this video possible. Enkey are the makers of fantastic, durable, airline-safe guitar and bass cases. And if you're interested, I actually did a full-blown product demo of this particular case. So just click on this link that's popping up and you can check it out. But make sure you go to enkeyusa.com and be sure to tell them that Jayme sent you. All right, 5 minutes and we're off. So here's my first tip for you, okay? When you're playing live, I've personally found it's much better to play these strings instead of these strings. You'll notice that that was the same note 4 different times. In fact, it was the same exact pitch. It wasn't even in different octaves. But these 2 notes here, those ones are not going to the subs, whereas these ones, those ones are definitely going to be felt by the audience. And the reason is quite simple. These notes sound thinner because the string is thinner. These notes here sound thicker and beefier because it's a thicker string. They have more to them. And so here's what it really means. If you're in a live scenario and you play this note, chances are that's not going to the subwoofers in the house system, which means the audience thinks you made a mistake. Or thinks that you stop playing for a second because they can't hear your note. Well, I mean, technically they can hear it, but they can't feel it anymore. Whereas if you played this note, there's no doubt there's bass in there. They can hear that one. Obviously, this is totally dependent on the kind of music you're playing, but here's a good rule of thumb. If you're playing like pop or rock or country or anything in the vein where you're doing a more traditional, supportive, foundational role in the band, which is most genres of music, then avoid playing these notes and lean more on playing these ones. Again, they're just gonna have way more woomph to them. But if you're playing genres where like you don't need the low frequencies, you know, if you're doing something more along the lines of, okay, fine, go ahead and play it down there. It's not such a big deal in that case. Trust me, if you pay attention to this rule, your front house engineer is gonna love you because you're doing a lot of the processing for him because you're making sure that your tone is filling out the room and going to the subs. Okay, now here's a technique tip for you. If you find that you're struggling with playing in certain spots of the neck, here's an idea. Go to your guitar player and borrow this thing. It's called a capo. Place the capo right at the spot where you have difficulty. In other words, if this is where I suck, well, now I can only play these notes. Check it out. Like nothing that I do on this side of the neck is gonna make any difference. So I'm now forced to play in the part of the neck that I'm uncomfortable. So here's an example. Let's say you're playing in a cover band, right? You're doing a bar gig and you're playing Sweet Home Alabama. And you just find like, oh man, I'm always down here. I'm never venturing up. And anytime I do, I start making mistakes. All right, cool. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's drop a capo down right here. And now I have to play in this spot of the neck. All right, here's tip number 3. Your goal as a musician is always to push the song forward. So here's what you do. When you play the verse, put your hand here. And then when it gets to the chorus, let's just move our hand over this way. It's very subtle, but it changes the tone. It changes, especially that section of the song. So here's something that I would do. I would play the verse right here. I would play the chorus right here. I would play the bridge right here. And then you can also do this too. As you're moving your hand, you can accentuate the difference that you're making with your pickup blend also. So maybe if I'm moving my hand further to the neck like this, to accentuate that sound, maybe I back the bridge pickup off a little bit and bring another layer. So here's my verse. Here's my chorus. And then here's my bridge. Now you're moving the song forward without really adding any extra notes or licks or stuff. You're just doing so by changing your tone, by changing which pickup you're accentuating and where your hand is. It's just a really easy way to move the song forward. And I guarantee the songwriter, the producer, they're gonna notice this difference. Maybe not from a technical level, but I guarantee they're gonna feel it. And actually, that's all the time we have for today's 5 minutes to better bass. Once again, thanks to Enkey for making this video possible. Go check them out at enkeyusa.com and tell them that Jayme sent you. And hey, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel by clicking on this button over here. And if you really like what I do, then come hang with me at thebassist.net. Just click on that button down there. Also be sure to check out the Bassist podcast. New episodes go live each and every week. And until next time, stay well, and I'll see you again here at thebassist.net.